And at Webster Garino, we understand that good people make mistakes. We understand that a criminal charge, the impact it can have on you individually and your family. And people have a lot of questions. Am I gonna go to jail? Am I gonna lose my job? How am I gonna support my family? What if my neighbors find out? And because people have these questions, they panic and typically talk to officers and investigators thinking about giving statements and admissions that it's ultimately gonna help their case. And the first thing I wanna talk about is statements. The worst thing you can do in your case is to give statements to an officer or an investigator. Often people think that if I cooperate, if I give statements, I can talk my way out of it, that'll help my case. Not true. The best thing you can do is remain silent. The only friend you have is your criminal defense attorney in this case. And everything you say will be used against you. Everything you post on social media will be used against you. If you're alleged that a crime occurred, you will be arrested at the scene, you may receive a summons in the mail, or a warrant may be issued for your arrest. If a warrant is issued, again, contact the criminal defense attorney as soon as you can so that attorney can negotiate your surrender with the police department. If you get a summons in the mail, that'll give you a court date and a time and a date that you'll need to appear in court. Again, that date's really important. If you don't appear in court, a warrant will be issued for your arrest. So again, it's important that you contact the criminal defense attorney. And if you're arrested at the scene, you'll likely either be in the pretrial release program, where if you have a limited criminal history or no criminal history, if it wasn't a violent crime, where they'll release you in your own recognizance, but you have to follow the terms and conditions of the pretrial release program. If you're not on the pretrial program, the court will need to determine a bond. So usually you'll be up in front of a court, usually within 24 hours of your arrest, and the court will look at things as far as what you're charged with, flight risk, some other factors, and determine an appropriate bond. And then you can post that bond with the bail bondsman and be released. The first court date is initial hearing. At the initial hearing, the court will advise you of your rights, ask you about your status of counsel, if you've hired someone or if you want the court to appoint one. We'll also give you deadline dates. They'll give you a pretrial date, and they'll also give you either a bench trial date or a jury trial date. Usually, typically around the pretrial date, the state will provide you discovery, and that is all the evidence the state has against you. All the witnesses they plan on calling, any statements, photographs, and again, it's important that your criminal defense attorney and you talk about the discovery, talk about the case, because your attorney will be able to look at the strengths and weaknesses to use that to your advantage to try to negotiate the best plea deal out as possible. Once your attorney has that information, we'll go into plea negotiations. It's important that you have an experienced criminal defense attorney during this process, as they'll be able to point out the strengths and the weaknesses of your case and use that to your advantage to try to negotiate out the best plea deal possible. If plea negotiations are successful, then we move right into the trial. And if you're found guilty at your trial, then the next step is sentencing, which again is left up to the judge and is argued with your criminal defense attorney and the prosecutor as to what an appropriate sentence may be. So if you find yourself in this situation, at Webster Garino, we have a team of experienced criminal defense attorneys that will put in the time and effort to make sure that they aggressively advocate your case and take the state to task if needed at trial. My name is Will, and we're here to help.